Hi, Dr. Richard Bartlett here. So it's fascinating how things just pass through, like, clouds passing through in the sky. I was just working on Skype this morning. So my first client was in a class that Cello and I just taught, an MED class. And I'd never met him before, but he was delightful. And he wanted a bunch of, I don't know what happened, right? I mean, I started talking about scalar technology and angles and frequencies and points of reference for morphic fields and just scientific technical stuff. And the next person I worked with, she had a problem where she couldn't talk, was having trouble breathing, couldn't move, and there was just a lot going on. And so I wound up with my eyes closed, working on the Batman doll and just kind of talking through the process. So but everything in life is that way. Everything is just walking. If you could just pause before you do or say anything and then let yourself say or do what naturally occurs, that's the way out of many difficulties, because there's always that moment. There's that moment right before the impetus to speak or right before the impetus to do, where if one were to be still inside, the rightness of the next thing is readily apparent. But most of the time, we're so ensnared in our egoic interpretations of who we are, what our history is, how we think our history uh, tells us we should act and respond based on previous responses that might not have gone so well. And so it's a program that we just fall into. But if we just were to pause, there's wisdom in that whole thing of count to 10 before you say something, right? You stop, drop down, and go and be very still, and then go, okay, what's presenting itself? And then you find your foot moving forward, or you find your mouth opening and saying something specific, just like I am doing here. Um, I don't plan anything anymore, but there is a plan apparently, but it's not my conscious awareness plan, some sort of universal format that just kind of downloads moment to moment. And I think that's the way everything is. There was a book that I think I referenced before, Ivan Bentinoff, Stalking the Wild Pendulum, where he talks about how he thinks the universe just blinks in and out of existence at a very rapid rate, so we perceive it and construct it in our minds and our awareness and the illusion of our reality as whole and complete and moving forward in time. And that may not be at all true. And everything, if everything's consciousness, it's just consciousness having an experience moment to moment. And that moment is, we reconstruct it in our brains. We reconstruct it with a sense of time, reconstruct it with a sense of purpose or a sense of self. And none of that may be actual. It may be all virtual. I'll see you next week.